Patty, you ready? Jim, you ready?
Yep.
I'd like to call this meeting of Parowan City Council to order for September 23rd, 2021. I want to welcome all of you here and welcome our commissioners, Commissioner Wood and Cousins. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it when you come to support our city and our council, so thanks for being here. The opening ceremony will be by invitation, and I've been invited, so I'll say the prayer and then I'll lead you in the pledge. Our Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this day, thankful to be able to gather in this community meeting as city council and citizens and be able to discuss the needs of the city. Father, we're thankful to live in Parowan and thankful for the beauty that's around us and all that Thou bless us with. Ask You to watch over us and continue to bless us and help us to do the things that Thou would have us do to make this a wonderful place to live. We thank Thee for all that Thou bless us with and say this in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Will you please rise and follow me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any declaration of conflict of personal interest by any council member?
No.
No.
Okay, we'll open the meeting now to public comment, and we ask you to come to the mic, state your name and address, and please try to hold it to 2 minutes if you can.
Heather Pete, I live at 177 South 500 West. I just had a question actually not last week, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, with the meeting with the school board and talking about the bond issue. And one of the thoughts or concerns that I had was that I know eventually we're going to be needing to do more expansion and more buildings, whether it be, because right now we have an elementary school and a high school, is that correct? So possibly middle school, that kind of thing. And I didn't know if plans or thoughts have been put into that, and if they haven't, I just would hate to see a bunch of money go into a building that then we didn't plan appropriately, and it is now in the way of either where a middle school or, you know, that kind of thing. And that was really just the only, I didn't know if those plans or thoughts had been incurred or if it's just we're going to build a building on top of the old tennis courts to accommodate. I guess I'm just wanting to avoid a Band-Aid and be more progressive and looking ahead. So that was the only thing I wanted to bring up, and to inquire about. So that's it.
It's a school board item, but they try to counsel with us like they were here last meeting, and that should come before the citizenry, any plans that they're making. And any of us have a right to attend school board meetings and express our opinion there also. So that would be probably another good thing to maybe do.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any others? Last call. Thank you. We'll now move on to the consent meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent meeting 1, 2, and 3.
I move that we approve the consent meetings items 1, 2, and 3 as printed.
Do I have a second?
I would like a discussion on this, if I could, please.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
jumping
Okay.
in here.
Matt and Dave both. Now we'll open it for discussion.
Okay.
Patty, go ahead.
Okay, basically, I'd just like to know, what we're gonna use this vehicle for, and a little bit about how we financed it, you know, and I understand that we've been budgeting for this for quite some time, so it's really not a surprise.
It's been in the capital savings plan for 2 years.
Okay,
This one will replace the, little two-wheel drive, we call it the cemetery dump truck. It's a 1-ton dump truck that they use a lot in the cemetery, but it's only a two-wheel drive. This is a 4-wheel drive. We have had issues in the past in the cemetery in the winter, but this also has a snowplow. It has a heavy enough chassis to have a snowplow on it.
Does that include the snowplow or just the...
That's, yes, including the snowplow.
So it isn't just the brackets for...
No,
Okay,
it's
so
got
it
the-
is a snowplow.
It's got the snowplow, and this is the state bid, where it's a state contract.
right.
And we ordered it now, and hopefully we'll see it before the end of this budget year.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Okay. All right, that's just kinda wanted the public to know what was going on. That price jumped out at me, and I knew somebody knew what they were doing, but I needed to know how we were getting to that point. So thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on now to the action meeting. Domestic Violence Awareness Month is October 2021. The proclamation, will have a little presentation by Kaylee Bronson-Cook.
Hi, how are you guys doing? My name is Kaylee Bronson-Cook. I'm the Awareness and Prevention Director at Canyon Creek Services. It feels crazy that I'm back here already, because it feels like I was just here in April, but here I am, back again. So I'm just here to talk a little bit about Awareness Month that's coming up in October, which is why I'm on the agenda now. We've got some events going on at Canyon Creek for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. One of them is on October 5th. At the Heritage Center in Cedar City, we're hosting our annual Masquerade Gala. And we also are doing a month-long campaign, lots of different campaigns, but one of them, a fundraiser some of you may have participated in the past, is we have local restaurants who are going to be donating or asking patrons to round up to the nearest dollar to donate to support Canyon Creek all throughout the month of October. And information about all of these things can be found on our website at canyoncreekservices.org. We also are going to host a benefit-style concert on October 18th at the Diamond Z Arena in Senior City. It's a free event, so just come out with your families, and we'll have food trucks, and we've got local bands, and we'll have activities and stuff, so it's going to be lots of fun. Our goal this year really is to promote healthy families and healthy relationships, and so that's kind of the theme of our efforts for this month. So I've got a proclamation that I'll read for you, and then you can let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything I can answer. So, whereas in the United States, October is recognized as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The goal of Domestic Violence Awareness Month is to raise public awareness about domestic violence and educate communities on how to prevent it. Whereas 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men in Utah will experience stalking, physical, or sexual abuse from an intimate partner, a statistic that does not include those who experience verbal or emotional abuse from a dating partner, or an intimate partner, excuse me. Whereas Canyon Creek Services is a local nonprofit advocacy organization that provides free confidential services to survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, as well as community education and prevention programming. Last year, Canyon Creek Services served 739 survivors. The need to prevent domestic violence in our area is evident. Whereas the safety and well-being of members of our community is of the utmost importance, and domestic violence can affect someone regardless of age, race, religion, or economic status, and it affects children, families, and the health of our community. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month calls attention to the fact that domestic violence is widespread and impacts our entire community. Therefore, we as a Parowan City Council join with the Canyon Creek Services Violence Prevention Coalition, as well as with advocates and communities across the country in taking action to prevent domestic violence. We do hereby proclaim October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and reaffirm Parowan City's commitment to ending domestic violence in our community this month and every day. Together, we can create communities free of domestic violence and sexual assault. That's my proclamation.
Thanks, Kaylee, you do a great job, and we
Thank you.
appreciate the work you do.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you.
And the mayor will be signing that proclamation and getting it to you.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move
We need
on.
to have a resolution.
It's an action.
It's an action.
It's on.
Let's say, let's do, yeah.
I move that we, accept the Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation as presented, and forward it to the, mayor for his signature.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Thank you. Thanks, Jim.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 5, Chamber of Commerce report on Winter Wonderland,
Yay.
and thank you.
Hi, I'm Jamie Bonnet.
And I'm Dayla Ulrich, and we just wanted to... We're done.
I'm like, I didn't even touch it. I know. We didn't even touch it. You had the force. It's like, we didn't even touch it. It was like, all right, done. That's all we have to say, guys.
I think we broke...
I know, I think we dented it.
My gosh, that income.
So we're just here representing Parowan Chamber of Commerce. And we just have some information to give you and then also some questions and we need some input from you guys and permission to do a couple things. So I'll let you start.
Last year, we hosted the Hometown Holiday and the Winter Wonderland, and we had what we thought was really good success, more success than we even anticipated. Based on our approximations for our nightly counts, we had over 6,000 people come through Parowan to visit the Winter Wonderland or attend the Hometown Holiday Market. And so that was really great. We talked to our business owners, and they said they definitely saw an increase, especially on the weekend nights and when we hosted like our free hot chocolate night. They saw an increase in customers and in sales over last year's numbers. And so that was a huge success. We loved having the opportunity to host it in the city park, and I felt like that was, I think everyone felt like it was the perfect location. And so we're really hoping that this year you guys would be willing to allow us again to host that event in the city park.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
So we just want to hold it in the city park. We're asking you guys once again to pay for all the power, if we can tie you into that power by the library, just like what we did last year. We are expanding it. We have 2 more vignettes. We're going to have a lawnmower that's been converted into a train that you can actually give kids a ride on, and we are only going to operate that on Saturday nights when we're doing the free hot chocolate. And then the other nights it will just be a decoration. They're going to pull something out of the mechanics. I don't understand it, so it won't be drivable or anything like that. And then we'll have like a little Candyland display. So it will be a little bit bigger, but I mean probably...
We're also hoping if we could do it in the park that we could run the lights up higher in the trees to create more of a canopy. And the other question about lighting was if it was possible, if we donated the lights, if it was possible to have a simple string of white lights outlining the Rock Church. A lot of the Parowan natives were saying, we just wish that that the Rock Church had lights on it so that you could see it in the background. And so that was just a suggestion given to us by multiple people. And so we didn't know if that was a possibility as well, to kind of just add to the whole holiday feels of it all.
And then we're also asking if we can just set up 3 weeks prior to the 27th, so it gives us a little bit more time to set up and get everything ready. We also wanted to do speakers where music was playing the whole time instead of just the free nights on Saturdays. And we do have all the speaker system and everything like that. Use the library's Wi-Fi for Bluetooth, for like a hub to be used on that.
The other question that we were wondering, and it's probably more of a question to Berg,
Yeah.
is, we did have some issues with vandals and some damage. We have thought of some ways to maybe sturdy up some of our displays so that it's not as easy to cause damage to them. But we were hoping that either, if it was possible for the police station to put up some of their, like, trail cams or motion sensor cameras, so that if by any chance there was more serious vandals or damage, then maybe we could identify, and hopefully it'll just deter people because they'll know there's a camera there, and whoever thinks it's funny to steal the owls will stop.
Yeah, rearranging the deer.
Remember, they stole the baby Jesus from the manger also.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
3 times? Holy cow.
There was 2 other things that, I don't know if you guys want to have any questions about any of that before
We go into other stuff.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, the longer you extend it, the more opportunity we have for vandalism.
Mhm.
So we're willing to do proactive stuff with you, but I'll tell you right now, we're shorthanded and we're way behind. I mean, we are busy.
Well, we were just thinking if we could put up a camera, but if you guys already had
So
them,
we have some cameras we have some dummy cameras, and we have some real cameras that you can't tell the difference between the two. But I just want you guys to know that as we extend it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
we just run into that.
No, we were just asking if you could put up some cameras or dummy cameras or whatever you have.
Yeah, we'll put it up.
Another question, have you already ordered the snow?
No, but can you put in an order for us, please? But not on the 27th, because we're having a craft venue and we don't want it to snow that day.
we want it to snow after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Jamie, where are you gonna operate that train?
It would be in the park, on the sidewalk, on the city sidewalk. I believe on Main Street, down that little alleyway next to the church, to the Old Rock Church, turn around and then come back. And then maybe another loop in front of the library, down to where the park is, and then come back. So it would just be on the sidewalks.
So not on streets?
No, not on the street.
Question also on liability, just in case a kid falls, can hold insurance on that.
So last year when we did the lighting display and we worried about liability if they were climbing or on it or like that, we were told that the city does have liability insurance already in place for stuff like that.
On the park, so they're gonna cover the
Not
train though?
for, I don't think for that type of a thing.
Not for that stuff.
You might wanna just,
Depends on who sponsors the event. If we sponsor the event or co-sponsor the event,
if we co-sponsor, so.
Yeah, we do.
If we do that, then, yeah, we do cover that.
we do have insurance. So we have insurance if we co-sponsor.
So we could just put up a sign that says, Parowan City is one of the sponsor events. Like
Well, I guess we are co-sponsoring, because we're part of using our property and the power, and so, yeah, that would be, so.
Yeah, one question. And then also,
You probably ought to probably do a motion to sponsor it. So now it's on
That's-
record that we've
Yeah,
sponsored.
that's true.
Good idea.
Okay.
question on that, where the train, you're going down that driveway, is that the city or the church?
It's church.
So do you probably need to get permission from them? Maybe? I don't see
Probably.
a problem, but you maybe ought to, just for, what's
Well,
their
that and
property.
the parking lot is also
It's a parking lot.
Is church
So
property.
we can definitely contact the church.
They need to
Yeah,
get
I don't see a problem, but
permission
just,
to light that up, too.
heads up on that.
No, that's ours.
I think you have a problem
But
on
also, don't you have to give them permission? No?
just because
For the city.
people coming to your event, walking away from your event.
Yeah.
That time of year, I don't see any reason or damage that would cause the lawn, to actually be on the lawn along the edges of the sidewalk. But I think if you're on the sidewalk, you're gonna deter people from walking up to your event.
Okay.
So, but I don't,
The only thing I'd see is if there's a lot of snow, how do you clean this?
Yeah, that was.
that's a good problem though, like.
Yeah, it is. It's hopefully we do that.
I don't wanna deter anybody coming from that.
And for the majority of the time, it'll just be parked and secured.
Just
for the kids to climb on the train and,
Take
it's
pictures.
gonna be more of like primarily more of a decoration.
Is it the one they had in the parade?
No, we're
it's
building
a
it.
custom building. I have a picture of it, like,
Yeah.
that's what we're hoping it all looks like.
Thank you.
Judd Sedgwick is the drawer and designer, and he thought he could name it Engine 1851, the same year Parowan birthday and stuff like that. So kind of tying in Parowan theme into the little train.
And the lights on the Old Rock Church, you're probably gonna have to get with Cleve and staff, and they could probably do that in conjunction with the other lights, but you'll need to get with Cleve. And are you gonna have the lights?
Yes, we can provide all the lights.
We were saying if you guys were willing to do that, we would love to provide the lights because we think it adds to the overall,
We'll have to check for power source too.
We'll get with the lineman and see.
okay.
Awesome, thank you.
And if there's a specific kind of lights or, you know, we can work with you guys on making sure we order the correct ones. Any other questions on any of that?
Up to this point.
Voting on an
No,
approval?
she's still got more.
Okay.
So the two other things that were, wanted to present to you guys, one was, storage of, as the, all of the vignettes and things, as we grow those and increase them, storage is becoming an issue. We didn't know if there was a place that, that the city had that we could purchase a storage container and put and store the supplies in that, or any storage solution ideas that you guys may have for us. It's taking over some of our businesses, and kind of overflowing, and I can't imagine next year when we add even more.
Cleve, do you know of
Library
some
has a
space that's available, or?
We don't have, I'd have to check around. We don't have any space for containers.
And I'm sure we have a few places where a container could be stored in the
And that's
city,
what we were kind of hoping.
which is a possibility.
I don't think the city can do the container, can we?
Tiny one.
Yeah.
Huh? Tiny one, as long as we have it and go.
Well, you'd have to go through the process, but no, it wouldn't be a container.
Yeah.
You can't use it.
Anyway,
The library has quite a bit of empty space. I don't know if that would be enough, but there's like 4 or 5 rooms over there that aren't being used.
On where?
The old, city council meetings over there.
Oh, the library.
They use
They don't use them too often, she said.
Yeah, they use them during the week. It's just something we're looking at, hopefully having a solution to before January comes around, so that
Have a place to put it.
we have,
Place to put it, yeah.
we're gonna have, so the other good thing, that's happened, we had such a good turnout, that the Cedar City Visitors Center and Cedar City Bryan Hitt Tourism Bureau actually came to us and offered us an additional grant to help us expand this year. And so we will be sending out sponsorship opportunities for, corporations and businesses to help to sponsor so that the event can grow and be expanded. And if the city would like to sponsor us in a way in addition to providing, you know, free power, there's that opportunity as well. We would love to partner with anyone, who would like to help kind of give us a little cash influx to purchase more lights and purchase more, materials and supplies. And we're hoping in the future to build, a larger gnome mountain that's representative of Bryan Head, and just have a little bit more fun, interactive things for kids and families to do when they come to visit. Oh, there was one other question which we, didn't know if it was a possibility. It was a suggestion that was made, by one of our Chamber of Commerce members, And that was when we do our free hot chocolate nights on Saturday night. We have quite a crowd, but it gets really cold, and they didn't know if it was allowable on city property to have a fire pit, or if that was outside of the scope of the liability insurance, if it was something we could purchase our own liability insurance, if it was something that would be covered, if it was something the city was comfortable with or not.
Well, I think that, y'all looking at me, you're all gonna make me, aren't you?
Well, usually the
The attorney do it.
well, usually they don't have an open fire, though, they use those propane heaters like you would use at Bryan Head or outside venues like that. You wouldn't usually have an open fire, I don't think.
I think they're trying.
I think first off, you'd have to look at the type of weather. If you don't have any snow or anything, that'd be a problem.
Yeah.
The second problem with an open fire is if you're gonna do one of those big, feeding or water troughs, it'll kill the grass. I promise you, it kills the grass. I know, 'cause we did it and we killed our grass. So if you would have to load it with dirt first and get it high enough to where it wouldn't transmit down and kill the grass, you have a big circle of burn spot. Propane heaters worked really good, and that's, like you said, but a fire gives you ambiance, and I'm not aware of any law that would stop you from doing that. I'm just,
Would it fall under the burn permit as far as,
oh, yeah,
So
but
you
you have a
could-
burn permit during that time. I don't think there's any.
so you have to, if it's,
Doesn't matter what time of year.
yeah, so you,
Well, but if you
have an aversion type thing, you can't burn it.
I think if you're a fireplace in your home or something, you don't have to get.
No, not that, but I mean, this isn't outside though, that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, I'm talking about not in your home. If I'm out, I have a fire pit at my house. I don't have to get a burn permit.
Yeah,
to
your
build a
backyard.
fireplace.
Hmm.
As long as it's contained.
I think 'cause it's a public event.
Yeah.
Might, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he would know the clearing index.
Well, you ought to pass it to the fire chief, but I think it's within a fire. If they bought one of those fire pit containers, then I think it's within a fire pit, and I don't know if that's a burn.
And there is, 'cause we were looking on, there is a concrete section that we have the
Picnic table.
picnic tables.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, are those removable? You could
So
store-
they're just chained there. We thought to protect the grass, maybe if it was something that you guys were, willing to consider, we could remove the, picnic table that night, set it up, have it there, obviously manned the whole time, and then,
Put it back.
return it all back, at the evening's end.
I
so
think
that
if there's
the-
snow and you're within a fire pit, you build a fire pit, then I think it's permissible.
We were in Park City this year, and they have actual, like, in your backyard fire pits that are off the ground, and it's just wood kindling burn, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's,
I think you gotta keep it within a contained pit, though. You can't just throw it on the lawn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wouldn't
Watch out,
suggest.
microphones are dangerous.
Yeah.
And I would suggest you put it in one of those water troughs and just set it on the lawn, 'cause it'll
Yeah.
kill the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so those are the questions that we posed to you guys. We would love to continue having in the park. If that, is something that you guys wanna do, we would also love to, expand the lights up higher into the trees, and potentially have a fire pit there on Saturday night. And if it's something that fits within the city's budget, we would love and graciously accept any type of donation to help us, expand the event even more.
Any questions on that stuff?
No, but we appreciate you guys and what you do, and last year, it was a great event, and there were a lot of people came, and it was really nice. But would you ask them to add a little more chocolate to the chocolate, hot chocolate?
Yes.
We can do that.
Just get Bob to throw 2 packets in
It's
for
in
you.
there. There you go.
We need to have a
It is an
motion,
action.
don't we?
Yeah, it is an action.
I have just one concern. With the Veterans Monument right there next to it, we need to ensure that you don't tie things to the, not that you guys did last year, but when we had the bouncy house, they were using the monument as a anchor, and that can't
No, it shouldn't be.
happen there.
Our only thoughts with the monument is if we could like maybe, and this is what we talked about last year, not so much this year, like get red, white, and blue spotlights and just...
Something like that is absolutely, I think
little bit better,
that'd be
but,
fine.
yeah, we
But to
would-
use it as an anchor, I'm a little bit...
Absolutely not,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to support?
I make a motion that we support the project.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, and then just to give you a little update also on what we're doing. So on November 27th, we're going to have that hometown holiday market again. So we'll be on Molly Halterman's lawn, property like we had last year and at Sweet Pea Farm and Orchard. So we'll have, people just coming there. We'll have, horse, ride carriages again meeting at the library where they did it last year, trying to draw people up Main Street.
And we'll be co-marketing the city's event along with ours so that it
The
just...
Christmas in the
goal
country.
Yeah, with
is
Christmas
that-
in the
The
country.
goal is that there's enough to do in town so that when people come in the morning for the Santa parade, there's enough for them to do to stay all day in parade.
To keep them here for the
And-
parade and then the ceremony at the library. So that's our goal
Good idea.
with that.
We're also adding, Tricia Harris is organizing an art walk for that weekend, that, she has multiple locations where they'll have local artists feature their work, and then the community members and visitors can travel through to the different locations to see different artists' collections.
And then also we're just hosting the meet and greet on October 7th. We got lots of feedback about having it at the Aladdin Theater. They were worried with COVID being in too close. So we're actually going to have it out at the Iron County Fair Building. So we would love to see you guys all out and support the candidates and bring questions, because we're going to have a bowl that you can submit your questions in, and then they can choose from there what questions they're going to ask. So,
Can I ask you, could you possibly make us a list of everything that you kind of have talked about?
yes.
So
I
we
kinda
know
have
what to
already.
support and how we can help?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Be interactive? Okay.
we can have that emailed over to
Okay,
you.
point of information there, is this motion sufficient for us to have a vested interest, or, that we're a cooperative entity in this?
Co-sponsor?
Co-sponsor?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not allocating any money, though, yet.
We
That
still
has
have,
to be a
we
separate-
still have budget hearings, then we'll
I think the key word there is yes,
Yeah.
right? I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Depends on the pool.
Someone else is going to talk about that.
Where's your mouth?
So any other questions or anything for us?
Thank you guys so
Oh,
much.
thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate that. Hey, guys, appreciate it.
Great job.
Really, seriously,
Great
great job.
We'll move on now to item number 6, Arbor Day proclamation, October 7th, 2021, and do we have shade tree representative?
Here?
You won't?
Nope.
Molly.
Molly Halterman, 139 South Main. I don't know if I need to say that. We have a work day scheduled, and that's also going to be our declared Arbor Day for Parowan. And that is also October 7th. So I'll probably be coming to meet the candidates from the Arbor Day work day. So all of you who aren't going to be dirty and sweaty already have the advantage. But anyway, it should be a great event. It's a work event. Ryan Johnson and I, as well as several other members of our committee, were out there last week. We got trees marked, and we got the keep trees and the get rid of trees. We identified a lot of the species out there as ones we like and ones that are invasive. It was a really good work meeting, pre-meet meeting, and so we feel really ready for a really productive work day. So I think that event's going to go well. We're meeting at 4 o'clock, and we'll work until everyone says they're done. Some people might stay a little longer, some people might come a little earlier, but there are going to be jobs for everyone. Even mulch rings are on the bases of the trees, so even children can be involved in bringing in and raking around mulch and things like that. And so we're excited for this to be one of many work projects for our community to work on Meeks Park and our trees around the entire city. But it will be our official Arbor Day from now on. And just a little side commercial, if you go to arborday.com, actually it's arborday.org, and you just answer a questionnaire about your feelings about trees, you get like 8 free trees. And I just did it myself, and there's no strings attached. And I don't know what we'll do with them, but I thought if several community members did that, we'd have some trees that we could maybe look at and see if we could place those, because for a lot of people, they don't necessarily want them in their yard, but some of them are just good habitats for animals like crepe myrtles and things like that. And if we don't want them, we can donate them to somebody else, maybe to Brian Head to do some beautification around their ice rink pond, you know, things like that. But that was just an opportunity that I stumbled across in getting ready for this event, and I thought that was pretty neat.
Did you say 8?
8.
8?
Mm-hmm. And they just send them...
Little tiny ones.
They're little tiny ones, yeah.
But-
We tried that.
Are they terrible?
No, with the ag, we got 200 pine saplings and planted them up there to the meeks, and some of them made it and most of them didn't. But no, there's, you know, if enough trees, we've got that area there at the meeks that was supposed to be the nursery.
Mm-hmm.
So there's places up there that could be revitalized with some tree planting.
I like that. And we've also been moving on, getting the trees at the high school, kind of an action plan on those, and just good things happening with the Shade Tree Commission. If you have any desire at all to support that commission, we would love to have you come out to our meetings, and this work event would be a great time to just meet people and to see who's involved and to get some, it's also just an educational on how to properly prune. What trees are good to plant here, what trees to not plant here. I mean, a lot of the time it's whatever the deal is at Home Depot or something, and that's not the best tree for Parowan. So we need to be educated, and Ryan Johnson is really good at that, and he's very, very involved and wants to help us.
Just a suggestion. We have a lot of new people, new build in our community. Could we offer one per person?
We could do whatever we wanted to. When I realized all I had to do was say what trees meant to me, one of the questions was a little difficult. It was, what is the most important thing about trees? And it was to add oxygen, to add shade, for erosion, and I was like, all of the above, and I could only pick one. But other than that, the questions are easy. Do you like trees? You know, do you feel they're important? Mm-hmm. Do you feel our forests are important? Things like that. So it was just a very simple questionnaire. Now, if you want to wait and see what my trees look like, I'll take a picture and post them or send them out to all of you in email, and you can see if you think it's worth filling out a survey, but it's a very short survey.
Okay. Just a suggestion.
Yeah.
Also,
The person taking that survey is also an animal rights person, so the right answer is bark.
Take a short walk.
Okay.
And I get in trouble, but
He gets away with it, yeah.
Is your lineage from England?
And we will be doing flyers prior to that event. We had a good outturn to the last one, but we want a turnout to the last one. We expect to have more. We're actually going to do some marketing to get a lot more people involved. So you'll see some things around the community and on social media. So, thank you.
Thanks, Molly. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we proclaim October 7th, 2021 as Arbor Day in Parowan.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now
Thanks, Molly.
We'll turn the time over to the pool committee for our recommendation for the RFQ.
I'm short, so I have to move it down, but I don't want it to fall out. Oh, no.
Get a tap.
I'm Rochelle Topham. I'm on, okay, I'll mic drop it when I'm done. Okay, so the pool committee has met. We've spent a lot of hours going through those RFQs that were presented. We did make a packet for you with the 4 committee members that did the recommendations and gone through those so that you can see how we scored them and how we went through those. The top recommendation is on the top.
That's who we're recommending, and then they go as follows. I just want you guys to know that we did take this super seriously, and we did a lot of research and vetting to make sure that we were making the right decision, because this is a huge project, and we just wanted to make sure that we were doing the right thing and making the right decision for the city and for the community.
And so as you look through, you'll be able to see that we had all of our own vetting that we did independently, as well as grading and scoring independently. But interesting enough, when we got together and went through everything, our recommendation was the same. The scores were close, and the order didn't change.
And as you can see, like on each question, the way that we graded it, we also supported the reason why we graded it that way, just in case you had questions about like why we gave them a 5 or why we gave them a 2, that it was backed up by facts and what we found during our research time as well.
So it's with all confidence that we make the recommendation that we make, especially once we got together and we all came to the same conclusion.
But ultimately, it's up to you. So if you don't like who we recommended, then obviously.
Are we ready?
You guys can choose who you would like as well, but.
I am.
Do you guys have questions, or?
Anybody have questions before I make
I
a
have a
motion?
comment. Excellent job.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very good.
Well supported.
Yep, you took the time to get the answers that we needed, and for that, we're really grateful. We're very proud of you guys, all of you, that have been working on this so hard, and I'm proud, very proud of you guys. Can I make a motion?
Yeah.
I make a motion that we vote for the pool committee recommendation on the pool RFQ.
Do I have a second?
Don't we have to say who it
You
is?
gotta say,
Yeah.
gotta name it.
You gotta name who it is.
We have to name who that is.
Yeah.
Jones DeMille.
Jones and
Jones
DeMille.
DeMille.
Jones and DeMille.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Quick,
Any opposed?
real quick.
Oh,
Discussion.
go ahead, Matt.
You know, looking through these and stuff like that, and I don't know if anybody went off of the actual qualifications that we posted online for this. They're the only ones that did thorough job. Went down, and they're the only ones that really kind of stuck out to me as far as want to help with us, far as going to bat to get the money.
We agree
Stepping
with
up.
that.
The financial support.
You know, it's interesting with, our general plan. Ryan Robinson is part of the subsidiary of Jones and DeMille. So they're, across the board, anything that Parowan does, they have always
Kind of a
connection, they've done a lot, they understand small towns, and I'm gonna say it, I like them, 'cause they go local, local, local.
And it's a good choice. It is,
It's
really
a
good.
great choice.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Now let's go right while you're still standing to the next item, number 8, pool location.
Okay, so we brought this up 4 weeks ago probably about, proposing that we move the pool location up to like where the ball fields and soccer fields are up there, just because safety, it would really develop that location. We just feel like it would be a good central location to draw in more business and just really beautify that area too. And I think just our top thing is safety for families, for kids, especially walking to and from school. They're not on that busy highway going up the canyon. We just felt like it would be a good central location. And also for the policing standpoint, you have everybody in one area and not spread out all through town.
And then from a financial perspective, being able to improve that as a recreational complex, there are a lot more opportunities for recreational complexes than there are for pools. So we're hoping to, as that complex develops, to be able to light the fields, to be able to include other improvements to that, and for it to just become the community's central hub for gathering. And it just makes sense to have it all in one place so that we can pursue the most stable financial means, and then you bring in the safety, security, convenience piece, and it just makes sense.
Well, in parking, something as simple as parking.
Well,
Right.
and then you're not taking away the green space right here, and that's for parks, so, yeah.
Yes, because...
So what are you asking for, a specific location? Because I don't think the council can identify a
No, we just
specific
want-
location.
Because in order for us to move forward,
Why
like...
can't we?
We can.
In the
Why can't we?
It's
in the exact location until it's designed, until we know
We need to know where to
exactly.
put it. So that
I
can
think
design
we
it.
need to look at a little more, maybe look at that in
Tell them what they
general,
want it, and they design it to fit the property.
the exact property.
Yeah. The exact
I
property.
mean, there's several different property sites to look at out there.
Oh, the one next to the soccer field.
Well, there's 2 of them out there.
Oh, I thought we were
the whole-
considering next to his house.
No, we're talking specific, so there's 2 different locations out there.
One next to your place.
Yeah.
And one next to the soccer field, this south of the soccer
There's
field.
one east of me and the one south. There's 2 different locations.
No, this is the one off of 300 East, behind Rex's and
Adjacent to the ball fields.
adjacent to the soccer field.
But we also...
Well, what about the one on the other side?
No, but that's what I'm saying, that's the one we're talking about, isn't it?
No,
Solid square.
not specifically.
Oh, I think we need to. I think we need to decide where we want the pool.
Yeah, we've got a green light now, so to
We've
kinda
got,
get moving.
we need to give the design a place to design it.
Have you looked at all the area in both of them
Yeah.
and evaluate how much area is in each one, Jim?
Let's see, there's, what is there,
How many-
4.5 acres on the old city yard?
I don't think so.
Is that one, I don't
I
think that's the one we
couldn't
had
give you an
discussed.
exact on that.
Yeah, I don't
Talked
think
about
we
the one that
know.
was directly behind Rex Burton, and then the one that was next door.
Right next door to, yeah.
What is your recommendation? Do you guys narrow
Yeah.
it down? Just out of curiosity?
I know we talked about both locations, and I think we were going to explore both locations. I
Yeah.
don't know if our city manager or Johnson DeMille would be able to very easily determine which would be...
I think we need to look a little more deeper into those 2 locations, because there's some different things you gotta take in consideration.
Well, I know, but we need to make a decision so that they can start moving forward.
What about just the generalization that you attach it to the recreational complex?
Yeah,
Right.
Well,
That would-
but that doesn't
property that-
specify,
Is across the street, or,
yeah.
Whether
That would
it,
give us the option of either one.
but that, at least it puts it in that area, which is,
Right.
I don't know which by design is gonna be the best.
Is there
Property.
any drawback to either one as far as some negativity, as far as not, I went up and looked at, drove it last night, but there's not, looks like there's water there, you got hydrants there, power on both of them. Is there any negative that,
Not that I can,
right off top?
no,
I think the area east of me has got more area.
That would be the only, yeah, it has more area, but the only thing is extending sewer into that area.
Mm-hmm.
But sewer's already there to the one behind Rex.
Yes.
Because of the bathrooms and stuff coming off that,
No, it's along 300,
down to 300.
yes, 300 east.
Is there a street on one of them that kids would have to cross to get to the other
Yes.
park, or is it all in one area?
Yes.
I don't have any idea, I'm just
You'd have to cross 200 north,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me.
But then you'd be able to use that parking lot.
Yes.
Either
That's
location.
The question is do you want kids crossing the street? When you got people coming and going all the time?
Would you be competing with parking with the soccer teams and pool at that time?
That, I couldn't tell you
No,
that.
I mean, that's one
I
thing I
can't
see
tell you till
drawback
you're
on that
designed.
side.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna have it, you're gonna have it in either location.
Yeah.
And the problem
Well-
with the one location is you don't have to, right now, build.
Yeah.
We could have more parking over there is what I'm kinda saying.
Right,
Right.
But you would be crossing the street.
right,
Mm-hmm.
you do have to cross the street.
So I just pulled up, the parcel locator, Iron County parcel locator, and it looks like you guys have 3 parcels right there, the city plus the one where the pump house is at. And one parcel is .27 of an acre, one is .3 of an acre, and then the one that shares it with the soccer field is 7.54 of an acre. So, and then the other one over,
It would be this one.
this big one is
Or something.
4.37 is to the, let's see.
East.
And then is there another one on the west of you?
No, but
No, we're just talking
Yeah.
about those two.
No.
one thing you gotta take in consideration is if things are gonna change out there.
In what way? What are you talking about?
The area there with, yeah, I know.
Well, that's why I'm saying, wouldn't be advantageous to put it on the city property on, east of Rex and that other one that goes behind, Mike Thornton's old house, that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, we've got a lot of gravel up there, it's the only thing, that is easily moved on those lots, but nothing serious.
But if we have it over at the other, then that means we're gonna have to extend services out to it. Whereas this is already close to the water and sewer.
There's water.
There's water in both, I mean, hydrants goes out on the.
Yeah,
on-
hydrants, but there's not sewer out there,
No, you'd have to bring sewer.
which is
Where
an
is-
added expense, correct?
Where do you put the sewer in? David, where does your sewer go?
He's on a septic. You would have to pump from that location.
So we'd have to put a pump in there. Other location, we would not?
I don't think you'd have to, I don't know that.
We need to, this is why we need to really
Where
make
is the bathrooms
sure.
up there on the park, or on the?
Your septic.
There is septic?
Yeah.
A lot of people park right here, so we would, I mean, we will.
And that also might be, a question that we could ask the engineer too, like, where do they feel like it would do best? I don't know,
Go here,
if their input would be,
if you did this.
I'd almost make a motion that we just have it, that area up there, and then kinda talk with,
Yeah,
with engineers and stuff.
I think so. I think
Yeah,
that's
need
the
more
most
information.
reasonable thing, common sense to
An
do.
on-site meeting with the engineers and,
and get their recommendation where they feel might be the best, because they may be seeing things that we don't necessarily see,
or later,
or like, yeah.
you may say this makes more sense.
Because I'm not an engineer.
So the consensus is to put it out by the existing recreation area, this ball park and the
Yeah,
soccer
the general
fields.
vicinity.
So I think that's where we can narrow it down right now. And then we're gonna have to go from, this point when we get more specific details, so we're not doing something wrong.
So if they do an RFQ, just out of question, if they do an RFQ and you give them both sites and say, we want it here or here, what can you do? And
Yeah.
then they could come back with you and say, this is where your best price is here, this is what we can do here, and then you can choose which one you think's the best site
Yeah.
based on cost,
That sounds good.
development, and so I think you can use both, and I think they can design both. It's not gonna change the design of your pool,
No.
it's all flat ground, so it's just a matter of your parking and your utilities and how you can best situate it.
Do you think we ought to eliminate the old site completely?
I do, yes.
Okay, so we're agreement at that. So,
Commissioner Wood's here too, and just pointed out that there might be something you can do with the commission there, because they need more parking for the rodeo area. They're always out of parking
Yeah.
there, and so maybe some of that can be used too, if you're on that other side. So there's some advantages there too you might look at.
Tell them we'd lease it. Get some money.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to, place the pool adjacent to the recreation park and let Jones DeMille, recommend which site that the city owns now would be most advantageous to the city.
I make a motion that we approve the pool site to be in the area that is adjacent to the ballpark, the soccer fields, and let Jones and DeMille help engineer, through their engineering, make the decision as to where exactly that is best located.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank the committee for all you've done.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. They've done due diligence, and they need to be recognized for that.
Okay, we'll move on now to, our council reports. Dave, do you have anything?
Molly, I think, kind of covered the shade tree pretty well, but I just want to mention that they did a good job. They were out there, a group of them with Ryan Johnson, and they marked those trees that need to be removed, marked the good ones and so forth, down the Meeks Pond.
Hey, Larry, I have a criminal matter that you referred to me. Can I talk with you about the criminal matter?
Yeah.
Anyway, they did a good job. They had another group out there just a couple of days ago that, I think Preston's wife was there, the mayor's wife, and different ones doing some cleanup, and they really did a good job at the Meeks Park. So the Shade Committee's really moving forward and trying to maintain that status of Shade Tree USA in the community.
What's this one?
The planning and zoning, they met and they approved the lot split with, the airport.
Lot line adjustment.
Okay, thank you.
Lot line adjustment.
I should know that, believe me. The lot line adjustment at the airport, 'cause, Councilman Gale and Shirtliff were there, so they know. But anyway, they approved that, and the general plan is going to the public for review and comment. We have a date on that, or? Is it the 6th? Okay, the 6th of October would be the public hearing, okay, for the general plan.
At the planning commission meeting.
At the planning commission meeting, so the next planning commission meeting, correct? Okay. Question, how is the public going to view that? I've had questions as how they're going to view the general plan.
I think we can put it up on the website, or they can come in and request a copy of it.
Can they get a copy?
Yes.
Okay, so the public can get a hard copy?
Yes.
Okay, 'cause some of us prefer that, and there was some people that were concerned and wanted that, so. I'm just curious, the Meeks Pond diversion, how are we coming on that? The water diversion.
We're still working on trying to get that track hole. We're gonna do a combination when we do that line extension, power line extension out by the landfill.
Okay.
Is gonna require a larger track hole than we have, which I think will make that diversion a lot easier.
Okay.
Because of the big trees that have to be removed. We can get the trees out and then pull the stumps as we go.
Okay, just knowing we've gotta get that before the weather.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I've been waiting to hear from Kelly. He's waiting to hear when they have that. We'll have about a week's notice.
Okay, sounds good. What about the Dry Canyon Pond?
So I'm waiting for, Rosenberg and Associates are doing the preliminary drawings. They're gonna send me, I had a phone conference with Ray and Jared. Kelly and I did, and they're gonna have us some preliminary drawings, I hope, next week.
Okay.
So that we can, see what we can take to, UDOT and the BLM.
Okay, so maybe next council we can...
At least have
Okay.
something.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you. I think that's all I have.
Okay. My committee's leading that, so we'll move on to Matt.
My committees are your committees, so we didn't meet either.
Patty?
Oh, no meeting? I didn't have any either.
Jim?
No, the only thing I have is, about the cemetery. Did a look, and in the far south section, those 3 new sections, we have approximately 1,130 open grave sites. And the old section, there's probably that many, available in the old section, so...
2,200,
Yeah, probably 2,200,
23,
somewhere in there.
And that's
And
without...
that's not counting the 400 that we
One
put in the corner.
Yeah.
What
So-
corner is that?
The one right there at the
front.
front in that,
Well, just north of the arch?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That,
All right. What about that area by the flagpole?
I don't know whether it would have much room in there.
It could certainly be considered right there.
Yeah,
There is a little
but you know,
area.
it narrows down, so there'd be,
What about future expansion to the east?
that's something that we can consider, but I was just going with
Yeah.
what's within,
Well,
the
thank you.
cemetery proper, so that gives us some idea of
What we got.
what we've got
So,
available.
what are they thinking about how to pursue getting those lots that are not being used in the old
There's
section?
state laws that govern how, if there hasn't been anything for 60 years,
That's what, we follow the same thing, Justin knows
yeah, the 60 years that the city can then take possession of them and
well, we have to notify all of
all of the,
All the way
The
down the
stairs.
chain, right,
there's a process to it, but
like a timeshare.
Cedar City's had to do it, and it's pretty
it's a
expensive
cumbrous process,
It can be done.
but it can be done.
Okay. But there's 1,100 there, approximately.
Probably, yeah, that's a guesstimate.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, Jim. Grave, anything?
the Yankee will be turned off tomorrow, but Robinson Reservoir will be turned
On?
out. It will, and we're hoping that we can stretch our water to October 1st. We're gonna shut it off October 1st, because we're sure that they're gonna be out by then, but I am hopeful that it'll last, the week.
Has Brian Head turned theirs out?
They're turning out the same day,
Okay.
tomorrow also.
There's a lot coming down the mountain.
Okay. Thank you for your reports. For now, I think I'll entertain a motion for a closed session.
I mean,
Excuse me, Jim. I make a motion that we move into closed session for the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, including any form of a water right or water shares, the sale of real property, including any form of water rights or water shares.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye.